Hey, what is up guys, this is Cobb, and welcome to 8 more epic champions that are basically legendary in quality. On screen right now are the names of all of the epic champions that we've covered already, and a quick disclaimer before we begin. Obviously, every single epic champion in the game is outperformed by at least one legendary champion somewhere, and so whether or not you should actually max level these epic champs if you happen to come into them is entirely dependent on your account state. Alright man, good. That's over man. Let's get into good old Inquisitor Shamael. So given I started the game 2 months ago, I looked at Shamael's kit, I thought, you know what? It's alright. What's the big deal? Why are people so hyped about good old Shamael, dude? Because I had no idea how Hydra works, right? It was a totally new concept to me, and after doing homework on this guy, oh my god, man, his kit interacts in such a crazy way with Hydra Head of Torment. Quick kit breakdown starting off with the happy little A1, which is quite a mouthful to read, but we're only going to read the first couple lines. Attacks one enemy, 50% chance, or rather 75% chance, of decreasing the duration of a random buff on the target by 1 turn. Pretty tight. This is where it gets spicy though. Every time an enemy places a debuff on an ally, use this skill against that enemy. These counterattacks will only deal 50% of the normal damage. Now, before we cover why that A1 is so awesome, before we go into the A2, dude, it's all about the passive, man. Each critical hit fills this champion's turn meter by a little bit. Fair enough. Cool. Whenever an ally receives a fear or a true fear debuff from an enemy, like Head of Torment, this skill will instantly remove the debuff and fill the team leader's turn meter by 15%. So yeah, anytime you attack the Head of Torment on Hydra without a perfect Veil buff applied on your team, which you shouldn't have on your team at all if Inquisitor Shamael is in the squad, it automatically counterattacks by placing a True Fear, which then Shamael instantly removes, attacks in for free, and then the Hydra puts... because he just hit the Hydra head again, he then gets the True Fear debuff, then removes it off himself again, and counterattacks again. And dude, the amount that you end up spamming this A1, dude, from what I've seen in YouTube videos, it's just insane. It's crazy as hell. It's so much value packed into this one A1. Not that it does the most damage, but it more just adds up a hell of a lot over the course of the fight. And of course, being able to instantly remove any and all True Fears every single time as soon as they're placed, and spam the hell out of the turn meter for your team leader. Just over the course of the fight, the amount of value this accrues is just unbelievable. I tell you what, man, the A2 isn't too bad either, man. Attack one enemy 3 times, will ignore 25% of the target's defense. As always with this champ, it gets spicier the more you read. Will ignore a further 25% of the target's defense for each buff on this champion. So just 3 buffs in on this guy, and you've got 100% defense. Ignorance. I didn't word that very well, but that's okay, man. We're just going to leave that in. So yeah, Inquisitor Shamael, extremely unique little Void epic, and I think certainly a worthy addition to this little, top epic champs series that we've got going. And speaking of stuff that's epic, you see what I did there, man? Head in your promo code section, input our happy little promo code, man. Help support the cause by inputting the code GameLeap to get your hands on 10 free experience brews, free energy refill, and 100,000 silver. It's free, so why the hell would you not? And you know what? If you're also looking to start off a new Raid Shadow Legends account anytime soon, dude, use the promo link down below at the top of the video description to start your new account with a free epic champ, a blobber starting silver, and a whole bunch of other starting resources, man. The best possible way to kickstart your new Raid Shadow Legends account. Alright, man, next up, heading into the Barbarians faction, we got good old Farrakhan the Rotund. Farrakhan the Round. Man, you gotta put some respect on the old belly button roll as well, dude. This absolute unit is just a Giga Chat against, I think, like most bosses in the game. Really good against Clan Boss, and might just be the best ally attack epic champion in the game. Let's check out the kit, man. The A1 attacks one enemy. Goddamn, 50% chance of placing strong decrease defense debuff for 2 turns. Obviously, it's only like a single target hitter, but again, for bosses, not bad. The A2, also kind of mental. It's an attack one enemy against, so he's very single target focused, right? This way really comes into his own for good old Clan Boss with, of course, the 100% chance of placing an HP burn and 2 strong poison debuffs for 2 turns. Mental boss damage. And the A3 is the good old ally attack, man. So place a 30% increase crit rate buff and increase crit damage buff on all allies except for Farrakhan the Rotundicus. Then all allies except Farrakhan the Swollen will attack one target enemy. I need to grab a thesaurus, man. I'm running out of ways to describe this guy's gut. Now, because Farrakhan the Ovula has no way to attack in with the A3, right? You're not really building him to be a super high damage champ, right? Even though he's an attack-based champ, you're mostly going to be building the crap out of this guy with just maximum speed. So he's doing things like keeping these buffs up for as long as possible. Because, dude, this beatdown is a 4-turn cooldown, like fully booked. 4-turn cooldown, it lasts for 3 turns, man. That's crazy as hell. So you want to build this guy up with maximum speed, as much accuracy as you possibly can as well, so you're clocking in as many of these poisons, HP burns as you possibly can. And yeah, that's it really. Barakin the Fat. I think he's probably like the first one that we're covering on this list, the first of a few, where maybe he's not like an auto max, but hell, if I had this guy, I'd be maxing out on my account, so pretty damn good. Anyway, man, if you're enjoying this video so far, make sure to click like, click on the subscribe button down below, so you're more likely, at least, to catch some future uploads, man. It would be awesome to have you aboard on this fledgling channel that we're trying to put together over here, man. It would be sweet. Anyways, next up on the list, we have good old White Dryad Nia. And Nia is just kind of a survivability raid boss that can just really give your team some nuts, man. So let's do a quick kit breakdown. So the A1, man, right off the get-go, it's an attack all enemies with a, 50% chance would that be? Chance of placing a strong decrease speed debuff for a couple of turns. I tell you what, man, 50% chance for strong decrease speed on an attack all on the A1 is already just off to an incredibly good start. The A2 removes all debuffs from a target ally, then heals them for a crap load, okay, like half their goddamn health, especially fully booked. And if the target of this skill is not Nia, decreases the cooldown of all target allies' skills by 2 turns as well. Very unique ability. Honestly, quite tough to quantify just what kind of value you can get from this. It depends what kind of team you're running her in, and incidentally, what kind of champs you can actually be able to getting this skill off on. But very good nonetheless. And so our kit so far has been pretty goddamn decent. She really comes into her own with the big A3. This is a place 50% ally protection buff on all allies for a couple turns, and also play 15% strengthen buff on all allies for 2 turns. While it is the weak edition, this is just a crap load of spread survivability across the entire team. Just utterly mental damage mitigation. Now, the passive, right? This is where it comes into, dude, she is just built for a regeneration set, okay? The passive, whenever this champion is healed, heals each ally except this champ by 20% of that heal. Slam her in a regeneration set, keep her alive, just good times. That's really it. Now, to be fair, you might also want to grab a little bit of accuracy for her as well, just to make sure that obviously the A1 decreased speed is landing, because this is pretty darn strong. But yeah, never has there been, at least that I can think of, an epic that we've covered so far, champ better designed for a strong regeneration set, man. Oh my goodness, this passive, dude. Next up, and I'm going to keep this one brief, man, because it's a bit of a controversial pick, you know what I'm saying? Most people, would you max out Hitatsu? Let me know down below. I feel like I've covered him a couple times in videos before, mostly because he was like one of the first epic champs I actually got my hands on. And what I love about Hitatsu is that he's just good at a little bit of everything. The A1 placing that leech debuff, increased survivability across the entire team. The A2 is something like 75% debuff chance of placing the strong decrease attack debuff for a couple turns. It's also an attack all. You get a little bit of extra survivability from the A3 on a 3-turn cooldown. Place a strong increased defense buff on all allies for a couple turns, and a 50% continuous heal on all allies. And he removes a debuff off of himself once every 3 turns. Now, I currently have my own Hitatsu in a Relentless set because it's just the best set that I got for him right now. I don't know that I'd actually recommend it. It's not bad. He does have some pretty strong cooldowns that you want to get off the A2 as much as you possibly can, especially because it's not 100% reliable, right? And that's really the main drawback of the champ. I feel like if the A2 was 100% chance to place the strong decrease attack, he'd be well up there. He'd be grand. So having the Relentless set to give you that extra turn every now and then and effectively dial all of his cooldowns down by 1 turn is pretty nice. But I'm pretty sure the best set to run on Hitatsu is the good old Guardian set, right? Giving that passive damage reduction for your entire team, giving them a little bit of passive healing, coupling that up with the A3 for that strong increased defense and the continuous heal, right? He's just like a Wish.com White Dryad Nia, right? The champ that we just covered. And whether or not you want to take him to max really depends on when you get him on your account. I've taken mine to max because, yeah, I got him super early. Is Hitatsu deserving of a place on this list? Depends how I title the video. If I title this video Epic Champions That Are Secretly Legendary, then, oh god, no, he's not. But I'm putting him on here anyway because he holds a special place in my heart. Next up, we've got the Control HP-based Epic God from the Undead Hordes faction, known as Husk. Provoker, crap load of control, really, really good in a lot of wave-based content. Honestly, not bad in Hydra either, as a slightly less, maybe like a backup provoker, you might say. The A1 is an attack one enemy 2 times, with a 20% chance of placing a provoke debuff. Now, obviously, this can be bucked up to be a, 40% chance of placing that provoke. Sadly, even though the skill attacks in 2 times, it is only 1 chance landing the provoke. So again, it's not super reliable. Is A2 on the other hand? Oh my god, man. Attack all enemies with a 50% chance of placing a stun. Damage inflicted is proportional to enemy max HP. Ooh, dude. Damn good in wave content. Damn good against Spider. And again, not bad into Hydra just because of the damage scaling of Despair. You really just want to be spamming this skill as much as you possibly can, and that's why we're probably going to recommend like a Relentless set or a Reflex set on Husk, just to spam this ability as much as possible, and honestly, probably just disable the A3 Retaliate, right? It's an attack 1 enemy damage increases according to this champion's current HP. Realistically, is there ever going to be a scenario where hitting a Retaliate against a boss is going to be better than hitting the Despair? I mean, probably not, right? That's why, I mean, yeah, screw the Relentless set, Reflex set all the way, right? Because you're just trying to dial the cooldown of Despair down as much as you possibly can and just spam it, right? To be fair, you can slam this guy in a lot of gear, man. Relentless, Reflex. Obviously, you're going to need accuracy. And thinking back, I've even seen people gear this guy for like 100% crit and then stack a whole bunch of crit damage and accuracy just to really cash in on the A2's, scaling from enemy max HP. So yeah, 100% crit damage, that can also work too. There's a lot of directions that you can go with this guy, depending on where you need him to be, right? Yeah, and next up we got ourselves good old Duck the Pierced. And can I just say, I love the design of this dude with the shield and just the carcass on this son of a gun. Not sure about the gaps in the shield, seems a little bit risky. Also, the fact that he's literally covering his eyes can't be that practically helpful, but ignoring that, this guy is a Chad in a wide variety of content. So first up on the A1, we have quite a unique one, dude. Attack 1 enemy 2 times. Each hit this time has a chance of placing a 50% decrease accuracy debuff for a couple of turns. This is notably an extremely strong debuff against various bosses in the game. Ice Golem, chief among them. Dragon, not bad either. On the A2, it's an attack all enemies with a 100% chance fully bucked of placing a strong decrease attack debuff for a couple of turns. Also has a 100% chance of placing a strong decrease defense debuff for a couple of turns on each critical hit. So yeah, we're going to be building the crap out of Duck with that 100% crit, of course, so you're cashing it on both of these insanely powerful debuffs, which are just useful, I don't know, everywhere, right? All forms of content, PvP included, and my cat is pressing buttons on my keyboard. There you go. She's being a good girl, man. Sitting on her dad's knee. And the A3 is a single target provoke, target on one enemy, but it also has that 75% chance of placing a provoke debuff for 1 turn on 2 additional random enemies. Oh yeah, god. And of course, don't forget the reflect damage buff on this champ and an unkillable buff on this champ for 1 turn also. So this guy is just kind of good everywhere. I think that the main challenge with Duck, especially early on in the game, is getting him geared up appropriately because he needs a lot of stuff. Obviously, like we already mentioned, for the A2, you need to have that 100% crit rate nailed down. You're also going to need a crap load of accuracy so that you are reliably landing the debuffs on his A2 and his A1, and also the provoke as well, now I think of it. Every single skill, very, very dependent on accuracy. But on top of that, you also need a good amount of speed on Duck, right? So he's actually landing this strong decreased defense debuff for those couple turns before your nukers are swinging in with their huge damage. Lot of stat requirements for good old Duck. But again, I think that what I want to draw attention to here, man, is again that strong decrease accuracy debuff against stuff like Ice Golem, right? Negating, or rather just drastically reducing the chances that he is clocking your team with those freeze effects, and just really counteracting any boss that's looking to stack those really devastating debuffs on your team. This is just tight. It can't be underestimated, and that is why Duck is just kind of good everywhere. Well, that and the absolutely broken A2, of course. Next up, we've got a golden oldie. Literally, in this case, actually, an old man clad in golden gear. I swear that wasn't planned, okay? So the A1, in fact, I'll just breeze over his kit really quickly. Let's be real. It's mostly about the A2 and the A3 with good old Deacon Armstrong, and old he is indeed. The A3 is a fill 10 meters of all allies by 50% and decrease 10 meters of all enemies by 15%, and then grants an extra turn, dude. It only requires 2 skill books as well, so if you get super lucky with your epic skill tomes, you can just clock this up right away, or clock this down rather, I guess, to a 3-turn cooldown. Extremely solid stuff. Couple that with the A2, man, which is an attack all with a 100% chance of placing strong decreased defense for a couple turns. Dude, This kind of opener will just carry you through arena for the longest time. 10-meter fill, 10-meter disruption, extra 10, strong decrease defense. Your nuker claps the hell out of the enemy team. You know, it's really, really good stuff. If it seems like I'm breezing over good old Deacon Armstrong a little bit, it's because it feels like just everyone in arena has this guy recently. You know, I guess there were promo codes bouncing around and stuff over the past few months. So, yeah, he seems to be all over the place. Oh, God. And you know what? The A1 actually does have it's a double hitter. Each hit has a chance of placing that leech debuff. So, yeah, I don't know. He's just an all-rounder. He's just really, really good everywhere. Increased survivability against bosses, 10-meter fill, decreased death. Really, really nice. And the gear for good old Deacon Armstrong? Pretty easy stuff. Maximum speed and a solid amount of accuracy, right? Perception gear to be landing the all-important decreased defense. And just make sure that he goes first. That's it. Nice and simple, man. Really, really damn good epic. A golden oldie, as we said before, man. And finally, we've got to cover good old Hai Khatun. Yes, she's the 30-day login champion, okay? But dude, for the time on your account to which you get Hai Khatun, 30 days in, she's so good. She might not be secretly legendary or anything like that, but at the time you get her, she feels like a legendary. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think the only difference with Hai Khatun, obviously, similar to Deacon, on the A2, she has a swollen 10-meter fill and a strong increased speed buff on all allies for a couple turns, so she kind of fills a similar-ish role to Deacon. On the A1, she has a chance of placing a strong decrease speed debuff. And on the A3, she has the good old attack all enemies with a 50% chance of decreasing 10 meter by 15%. And you know what, man? Thumbs up to Plarium, dude. Hai Khatun, excellent 30-day login champ. I feel like she's just great in all forms of content. She can be used as your kind of arena opener, right? Arena aura, until you get something better like Arbiter or whatever. She works in basically all forms of content because of the 10-meter decrease and the attack all on the A3. The speed speaks for itself. She is just shockingly good, and you're probably, as a newer player, you know, you get after the 30 days, you're probably going to be taking her to level 60. I think the only caveat really with Hai Khatun is that while you do want to build her in as much speed as possible, just like Deacon, I do feel like you have to go a little bit deeper, a little bit harder on the accuracy with Hai Khatun, not only because you have that chance of landing that strong decrease speed debuff on the A1, but also the 10-meter reduction, right? Of course, you're going to need some accuracy in order to actually land this 10-meter effect. And so, yeah, speed, 2 bits of perception, something like that. You'll be fine for the longest time with this gal. And hey man, that is what we're going to do for this video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Actually, I should mention that. Drop in the comments down below right now any epic champs that you feel are literally secretly legendary. And there's a pretty darn good chance that I'll do my homework on them, research them a little bit, and we'll include them in a future top epic champs video. And you know what? We'll probably even pop up your comment as well while we do that. So hey, do enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for stopping by. Make sure if you're kicking off a new Raid Shadow Legends account anytime soon, use the promo link down below at the top of the video description. And make sure to use our promo code GameLeap to get yourself your free energy refill and a few other little goodies as well. Alright, thanks boys. I'm going to catch all of you all just a tad bit later, man.